From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, so far so good along I-4. No accidents or delays to slow your travels. Authorities are on scene of a serious wreck southbound along the Turnpike at US 27 mile marker 289. All southbound lanes are blocked at the time. Traffic is backing up quickly through this area. Be prepared for delays if you are headed this way. And a crash with roadblocks slowing things down southbound along John Young Parkway, just a little south of Oak Ridge Road. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Traffic on Air Online brought to you by Subway. Build your better breakfast at Subway. Try an irresistible steak, egg, and cheese with toasty tomato and chipotle Southwest sauce on tasty flatbread. Only at Subway. Eat fresh.
Overtime questions on your cell phone, dial Pound Law. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel. Off to a cold start this morning. Plenty of sunshine. The high today only topping out near 70. Could be close to a record low tonight, and then warming up this weekend. Sunny and mid-70s tomorrow. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Score with 540 WFLA Sports.
Dwayne Wade scored 8 of his 20 points in the fourth quarter and made a big defensive play against Kobe Bryant near the end of the game to will the Miami Heat to a 94-88 win over L.A.
Just trying to do whatever I can to make sure that, at the end of the day, I can go home and say, I did everything I could to make sure that we won this ball game.
The Heat snapped a 5-game losing streak. The Magic visit Golden State tonight. Game 2 of their 5-game Western Road swing. Tip-off at 10:30. The SEC champion Florida Gators will begin a quest for the SEC tournament title tonight when they take on Tennessee in the quarterfinals.
We know it's one and done now. We don't want to be satisfied with just winning the regular season SEC. We want to do more.
Florida guard Irving Walker, 540 WFLA begins live coverage of the Gators tonight at 7. Former Dr. Phillips star Chris Warren scored 20 points as Ole Miss defeated South Carolina 65-55. FSU could get star forward Chris Singleton back for tonight's ACC tournament quarterfinal game against Virginia Tech. Singleton had foot surgery less than a month ago, but has progressed to the point that he'll be a game-time decision today. The clock is ticking in the NFL contract dispute. The deadline is today for the Players Union and owners to come to a new collective bargaining agreement. That's your sports update. I'm Tom Morgan on your Gator Nation station, 540 WFLA.
DHL. Wake up and stand up for what's right. 540 WFLA presents the 50,000-watt front porch. And another hour of Bud Hediger Live.
All right, I'm about to get hammered on the phones, and I know it's coming. 407-916-5400. Let me ask you a question to set the stage for something that has been done in Tallahassee by our political leadership this week, and I have really conflicting feelings about it. First of all, if I owe you $10,000 and I pay you $10,000, is there any scenario in which you are justified in coming back to me and saying, oh, that's very nice, very well and good, but the debt's not settled, you still owe me more? I'd tell you to go, I'd send you packing. If I owe you $10,000 and I write you a check for $10,000 or make my final payment on the debt, I have paid my debt to you. By definition, that's it. There's nothing more to pay. Why does that logic not hold when it comes to the status of convicted felons in the state of Florida? You pay your debt to society by serving your time in prison. And we say it. You pay your debt to society. It's paid. And yet, the state of Florida now has instituted some changes which effectively say, well, you've paid your debt to society, but you still owe more. And I'm just wondering whether that's fair and whether that makes any sense at all, and whether it flies in the face of the concept that I just outlined for you, that when you pay your debt in full, you've paid your debt in full. But now there's more to pay if you are a felon. Now, I'm not being a bleeding heart, namby-pamby liberal here. Please, don't hammer me with that. Disagree with me if you want. But let me tell you what has happened. Governor Rick Scott and the Florida Cabinet, acting as the State Board of Executive Clemency, has approved some new rules. They did it unanimously. Hasn't gotten as much attention as a lot of what's going on in this very, very important legislative session. So I want to debate this with you right now. Here is what has now been created for folks who are getting out of prison in the state of Florida. In this state now, a minimum 5-year waiting period has been imposed on felons after they have served their time before they can apply to have their rights restored. Voting rights, whatever else it happens to be. Setting up a tougher standard than the state has used for a long, long time. And as a matter of fact, we're in the minority. Doesn't necessarily mean that's wrong, but we now join only Kentucky and Virginia in the union, requiring felons who have completed the terms of their sentences to apply to have their rights restored. You know, now critics, and I think they're off base here, they think this has been cooked up by the Republican majority in Tallahassee with an idea that there are more blacks in prison than their population would indicate, a disproportionate number of blacks. And if you can make it tougher for them to get back in the game and vote, etc., well, that's good for Republicans because they might likely vote Democrat. Most blacks vote Democrat. I'm sorry. I think I know the people at play here in making these decisions better than to think that this is some old kind of a Jim Crow thing to keep blacks from having their full rights as citizens in this country. I hate it when the race card gets played. It gets played all the time. But under these new rules, felons convicted of nonviolent crimes can apply to have their rights restored without a hearing 5 years after they have completed their sentences and paid restitution. Felons convicted of violent crimes have to wait 7 years to apply and then win approval in a hearing. Other provisions of this new arrangement for folks who are just getting out of prison, indicating further that they pay the debt to society, but they still owe something else. 407-916-5400 on this concept and how you feel about it. I really do have a problem with this. It goes on. The other provisions. All felons must wait 8 years after release before they can apply for the right to carry a firearm. The previous rule allowed them to seek a waiver to apply earlier. All felons must wait 10 years before they can apply for a pardon. The previous rule allowed them to seek a waiver to apply earlier. There's a lot of folks here who are in this pipeline trying to get their full rights back after they've out of jail. It's nearly 100,000 former felons right now in Florida who have applied to have their rights restored. And who knows how all of that will be impacted here. I've been getting emails on both sides of this saying, Budman, I fundamentally agree with what I've heard you say before. The very concept of paying your debt to society means that's it. You've paid it. You served your time. We've decided that what you did, you've gotten sentenced by a judge and a jury. You know, you're 20 years, whatever it happens to be. After 20 years, you've paid your debt to society. Just like if I owe you 10 grand, I pay you 10 grand. I don't still owe you something else. 407-916-5400. It just fundamentally seems at least illogical to me. And I thought maybe you could help the Budman out on this. And we're taking your phone calls as we roll into the next segment here on BHL. Peter and Jim, you're first up. I want to hear from you on this. If you served time for a crime and you got out, wouldn't you think you'd paid your debt to society? Now Florida's making it harder to pay that debt, extending it out and essentially saying, you owe us more, and it's going to take more time. Not sure that works for me. How about you? 407-916-5400. Good morning at 712. To the phones in a sec here on BHL.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, we're in good shape so far this morning in both directions of I-4. Starting to get busy eastbound through the downtown area, although still moving along well. Authorities continue to work that crash southbound along the Turnpike at US 27. This is mile marker 289. Although all travel lanes have been reopened, this is off to the right shoulder. And a slowdown southbound along John Young Parkway just before Oak Ridge Road. Reports that the center lane is blocked with a wreck here. Be sure to use some extra caution if you are headed through this area. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Traffic on air online brought brought to you by Norwegian Cruise Line. For a limited time, enjoy Norwegian Cruise Line's free upgrades for all. You can get a balcony stateroom for the price of an ocean view or receive up to a 4-category upgrade. Book now at ncl.com, call your travel agent, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Restrictions apply. Ships registry, Bahamas and USA.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel. Off to a cold start this morning. Plenty of sunshine. The high today only topping out near 70. Could be close to a record low tonight, and then warming up this weekend. Sunny and mid-70s tomorrow. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Morello. Coming up in your 7:30 news, the death toll rising after an 8.9 magnitude earthquake in Japan. The Florida Senate's approved teacher merit pay, and Shuttle Endeavour a step closer to her final launch.
Big sports weekend coming up on TV, and boy, I'll tell you what, you can't do better than having ESPN through Bright House Networks, except having access to ESPN3.com, which is what you now have through Bright House. ESPN3.com, the online home for sports fans to watch live sporting events, your favorite sports, unlimited number of games. You're watching free. You're watching free online using the world's leading live sports video website. What a concept. It is ESPN3.com, the online destination for sports fans to watch your favorite teams wherever they happen to be. And to register, you go to brighthouse.com/myservices. And to use your Bright House Networks account login information, go get it. ESPN3.com. You're going to love it.
Look at that beautiful lagoon pool.
How about the children's pool and water slide?
Look at the parents relaxing.
The kids playing and laughing.
A family vacation where dreams do come true.
At timesharesbyowner.com.
Does your keychain say you're hardworking and dependable? It will when you add the keys to a Chevy Silverado All-Star Edition. And if you add them during Chevy Truck Month, they'll also say you're smart, because you'll get a trailering package, heavy-duty automatic locking rear differential, and a great deal.
At Gander Mountain, we've been helping people make outdoor memories for over 50 years. And if you haven't been into our newly remodeled Lake Mary store, you're definitely in for a treat you'll never forget. It's the new Gander Mountain Academy, the ultimate in firearms training right inside our store. This isn't just a range, it's the latest technology and training, previously only available to law enforcement and the military, in one state-of-the-art facility. There's a virtual shooting range with virtual laser firearms that give you a realistic recoil, a live range, 180 and 300-degree simulators with real-world self-defense scenarios, and the most comprehensive firearms classes available anywhere to the public. It's the best instruction and the best selection all in one place. The Gander Mountain Academy, exclusively inside the all-new Gander Mountain in Lake Mary, at the corner of I-4 and West Lake Mary Boulevard. We've raised the bar and set our sights on a new kind of outdoor specialty store experience. Gander Mountain. We live outdoors.
As part of AutoNation, America's largest automotive retailer, Courtesy Chevrolet can do big things. Like give you a money-back guarantee on every vehicle we sell, new and used. So you get the peace of mind of your money back, no questions asked. And right now at Courtesy Chevrolet, get a 2011 Camaro for just $21,991 or a 2010 Silverado Crew Cab for $22,900. That's a Silverado Crew Cab, $22,900. We're using a special $1,000 GM owner loyalty rebate to offer you a Camaro LS for $21,991 or new 2010 Silverado Crew Cab, $22,900. Plus, shop more 2010s all